Welcome to MEDICA Wellness Studio. I'm Angelika Maria Koch with the educational videos about how to live optimal health and vibrant well-being as I continue to guide you step by step through an amazing and life-transformative process, empowering you to connect with your body and soul in a completely new way again. Let's continue with the Discovery series of the Radical Chakra Healing in the New World with our Sixth Chakra called Ajna Part 2, where I share with you how to balance and activate your Pituitary Gland, which is associated to the Sixth Chakra. The Sixth Chakra is also called the Brow Chakra, and here the theme is how to use your mind in the most constructive and life-affirming way by making the decision and the commitment in taking the path of your soul. Again, if you want to know more about it, go back to my previous video where I talked more in depth about the metaphysical description of the Sixth Chakra. But by now you must be aware that the pituitary gland has a lot to do with nutrition, partly because more than any other physical structure within the body, it represents the link between our mind and the body. It's like a portal. And the pituitary translates the ideas and emotions of the brain cortex into chemicals, which then control our mood, the metabolism, as well as our muscles. So these secretions are among the most important molecules when it comes to our emotions and our thinking and knowledge. The pituitary secretion literally inform the other organs and the glands within the body what the brain wants the body to do. And as a result of that, these organs start to think about themselves. It's like an educational training. But healing starts in the mind, and therefore the energy of the Sixth Chakra not only heals the physical structures which are associated to the Sixth Chakra, but really influences every dysfunction throughout your body. So to do this, the pituitary gland has to function at its optimal level because it represents, the really important link between your mind and your body. It is vitally connected to the limbic system, the part of your brain. And here I want to say the brain in itself is composed of three major parts: the neocortex, which has a lot to do with your thinking brain, the limbic system, which is your emotional brain, and we have also the reptilian brain. But the pituitary gland is part of the limbic system, so really your emotions are really addressed here. I know in the last video I talked about how the limbic system is composed, and I want to go there, but I just want to mention because here the aspect of memory is very important. And part of the limbic system is the hippocampus, which has to do with your short-term memory. And when you have long-term memory, that means your thoughts are then shipped to the other part of the brain, which is called the neocortex, where we have now the long-term memory. So, as I said, when we go into history, evolution, the first part of your brain was the reptilian brain and really has a lot to do with your primitive, survival-orientated actions. And as we evolved, the limbic system came in and we suddenly started to feel and our emotions came in. So when you come back from work and your dog runs to you and the tail just wags, that means that limbic system part of the dog's brain is now active. And over evolution then the neocortex came in, and here we have then advanced logic in human beings. Now the limbic system influenced by the pituitary gland is so important that it is sometimes even called the second brain, and this interlinked system of brain structures that compose the limbic system literally have their own mind. So the mind has the physical capacity to transfer knowledge to the rest of the body as well as to the endocrine system. Let's talk about the endocrine system, that word in itself. It's basically a network of glands which produce hormones and they go into the bloodstream. Now these hormones are signaling chemicals that activate organs throughout the body, and among the most important right now I think is the adrenal gland, because we are all so stressed in this changing world. The adrenal gland the two glands sit on top of the kidneys, and they really have a lot to do with your fight and flight response. The other one is the thymus, sits in the middle of your chest, has to do with your immune system. The thyroid, of course, is the gland of your metabolism and is in direct link with the pituitary gland. They have a loop system, they talk to each other all the time. We also have the pineal gland, which sits quite close to the pituitary gland, and it has to do with your sleep pattern. And then we have the gonads, the ovaries and the testes, with your sexual function. Now, besides affecting the body, the hormones which are produced in the endocrine system also directly have an effect on our brain. So if we have a lot of estrogen within our body, for some reason, or funny enough, your verbal dexterity, your language is better. And if you have more testosterone in your body, doesn't matter if it's male or female, there's more of a well-being there. So controlling all these endocrine glands, though, is the pituitary of the sixth chakra. It is really called the master gland. It's a very small piece of structure. It's like the size of a pea, and it's situated in the middle of your brain. And again, it's part of the limbic structure. Now, the ethereal energy in the sixth chakra, when it gets imbalanced or low, it therefore can affect the function of the pituitary gland. And when this happens, and that's really the core essence here, the mind-body link is severed. So what does that mean? It means the body doesn't know what the mind is thinking, and the mind doesn't know what the body is doing. This is the very core essence of the sixth chakra and the pituitary gland. So when the mind, body and link is now disturbed, the capacity for intuition isn't very much there. Also physical aspects, I would say, definitely under-functioning thyroid, hypothyroidism, over-functioning thyroid, as well as sort of moods like agitation, anxiety, depression, loss of libido, disturbed sleep patterns. They all are part of the pituitary dysfunction. Of course, we have also neurological aspects here, multiple sclerosis, chronic pain, and we go further, dementia, Alzheimer's, all think about your sixth chakra here. But as the pituitary gland is very sort of located in close proximity to your nasal and throat cavities, as well as to the bony structures of the skull, sound, chanting is very important here. The pituitary really resonates with sound. And here I can't stress enough, I always go back to the book Meditation is Medicine from Dharma-Singh Khalsa and Cameron Stout, which really provide you great exercises which include the mudras, the mantras, the sounds, the breathing exercise, as well as the body postures to activate your endocrine glands. Really refer to that. Why? Because these medical meditation Kundalini practices increase blood flow to the brain. And that's very important when you talk about the pituitary gland. So increased blood flow to the head also helps to strengthen and tone the arteries and the supply of blood to the brain. And therefore we have more cognitive energy, but also you can prevent strokes. That's part of it. Now, another significant beneficial effect for increased blood flow to the brain, I would say, is the prevention of migraines, for example, and chronic headaches. Often migraines are caused by stress. It can be dietary factors as well, but I would say stress is a big factor here. They often start at the occipital area, the back of the brain, and then go up and give you, make your life hell, so to say. How it happens? It happens because the blood vessels constrict, and in order to compensate for that, they expand, and then they hit the nerves, and then you have the pain. So besides improving cognition or thinking, the sixth chakra medical meditation really improve the blood flow towards the brain. I also really suggest here, of course, homeopathic remedies, and here we have the actual remedy called pituitary gland, but here please consult your health practitioner for more in-depth treatment. No, I don't want to forget here to mention the very important function of the pituitary gland, which is related to the circadian rhythm within our body. Now, within our body lies this inner clock, and it's a natural rhythm that influences normal physical function. It's like your 24-hour clock in your body, which tells the organs what to do. And we have that in plants, we have that in animals, fungi, cyanobacteria, all living organisms have this kind of inner clock. Of course, it can be influenced by sunlight or change of temperature, but it's this built-in self-sustaining generated clock inside us which determines sleeping patterns or feeding patterns within our body. Now, it can be actually measured or seen with physical examination. You can see sort of like brain waves activating either the hormone production, the cell regeneration, as well as biological activities within the body. So you know when your circadian rhythm is out of sync, when you have an international flight, for example, and you get really jet lagged and you arrive at the airport and it's early morning, but for your stomach it means, it thinks, well, it's lunchtime. So it's totally out of sync. In Chinese acupuncture, we also relate to that as the meridian clock. So it means like every 2 hours another organ starts to be activated, and that can be day and night. For example, from, let's say, 5 to 7, the large intestine in the morning starts to be activated, and then from 7 to 9, the stomach wakes up, and that's where we have our breakfast. So this inner circadian rhythm, and women also with the menstrual cycle involved, has a lot to do with the pituitary and the pineal gland. So I really want to say here also that especially in perimenopausal and menopausal women, the function of the pituitary gland is very much affected, partly because of the change of the hormones. And symptoms like insomnia, sleepless nights are very common, and the pituitary gland really is involved with that. And here I would really say meditation isn't enough at this point. You really need some natural supplements as well as medical meditation practices to balance your endocrine system. In my practice, Medica Nova, I use products which I use for years from Systemic Formulas. I show them here to you, which would be here pituitary gland. That would be one of them. I also always use a product for the adrenal glands, and of course for the thyroid if the thyroid is affected. So if you address all 3 glands, then the pituitary has more chance to be balanced and activated if needed. I would say that would be a nice sort of combination rather or versus choosing chemical synthesized hormone therapy replacement treatments. I think there can be a better way, and it's not just about how can I activate my third eye. This is not about a new age hocus pocus. We talk about medical science here, and there are other ways how to balance your endocrine system. So I think that's enough for today. So in the next video we will go in our last chakra. It's the 7th chakra. And to stay updated, I always encourage you to subscribe to my channel, like and share it with your loved ones, family and friends, or anybody who is interested in living optimal health. I also want you to have a look at my website, medicanova.net, at the online academy, where you find great comprehensive home study online courses in homeopathy and quantum healing. And if you're interested in booking a personal health consultation for yourself or your children, you can contact me at my email health@medicanova.net. So till next time, much love, take care.